We all know how crazy the market has been the last few years, and I get a lot of calls and emails from you guys who watch this channel. The same question keeps coming up over and over. People ask me, is it better to build a new home or to buy a resale home in a 55 plus community? Today I want to kind of dive in to those questions and see if I can't get you some answers. If you stick all the way to the end, though, I'll give you my investment take on things. So let's get started right now. First of all, I want to tell you that this is your decision. A lot of you guys have friends in communities or giving you input. Well, we moved to such and such area and we think it's the best, or we built new, or we would never build new. The biggest thing I want to tell you is do what you want to do. You're here for a reason. You're looking for information. So let this be the first part of your homework. The second part would be to reach out to me and my team to talk in depth about different options, resale or new builds. And we'll tell you about the various areas, different communities. We'll help you lay out a plan that works for you. You can always drive 10 minutes to see your friends. You don't have to live in their neighborhood, or maybe you do like their neighborhood. The key here, though, is don't let friends and family drive your decision. You do what works best for you. Lots of people moving into a 55 plus community really do want to explore the idea of building a new home. Now, the first thing that will dictate whether you can build new or have a resale is going to be price. Depending on the area, base prices generally are starting in the high 300s for some further out communities, into the high 400s for smaller homes in the closer in communities. It all depends on where you want to be. Realistically, if you want something 1,800 to 2,000-ish square feet, all in, you're going to be in the $650,000 to $700,000 price range if you want to live in the Phoenix area. Now, in the past few years, like I said earlier, things were a little crazy. That has settled in a little bit, but we still do have some supply chain issues. So depending on your builder, you need to plan on 8 to 14 months. Might be closer to 8, could be 10, could be 12, depends on what the shortage is on any given day. Today, it's cabinets. Some cabinets are more of a challenge to get. You know, last year it was appliances. If you wanted any high-end appliances, you might wait 12 to 18 months to get those appliances. Now, other builders like Robeson will let you intentionally delay the process. Let's say you come here, you find your dream home, and you're not ready for 18 months. You can put it off a few months as far as going to design and making all those selections, but there will be a small upcharge for that privilege. But if you really want to lock in the lot of your dreams and you know your floor plan, that could also be a good way to go for you. We have to analyze it once you get here, and then we'll see what might work best for you. Now, new homes, as I said earlier, in a prime area are going to cost a little more. Why is that? Well, A, they're new. They've got the big high ceilings. They've got those white kitchens. They've got updated light fixtures. Everything is going to be brand spanking new. Older resales, we might be able to find something 3 to 5 years old, sometimes even 10 years old, still looks like new. It just depends on what your price range is. The first place to start is with a call to me, and I'll tell you the different average prices for the different areas. Then from there, we can tour around and our team can show you all of the different new home areas. The other reason that people are wanting a brand new home in a 55 plus or active adult community is this is probably one of the last moves you're going to be making. So you want what you want. You've worked hard all these years and you want something nice and new. We've all suffered through crummy furniture that our kids trash. I mean, I had a kid who cut up the couch. Ask me about that sometime. We've put up with small closets, small bathrooms. We've had to move multiple times maybe. This point in our life, we want what we want. We want to have the fun of going to the design center and picking all of our choices. So if you're planning on staying in this home for 10, 15, 20 years, buying new might be a big consideration for you. Most of the communities that my team and I sell in do have both new and resale homes. So when you come for your house hunting visit, we will show you both sides, unless you just say, oh no, we don't want new, we want to move in next week, or we don't want resale, then we'll go to one or the other. But I think it's good to see both to get a balance and really see what the offerings are. The pricing on new homes can be a little tricky. I know you guys visit the websites, maybe for Victory at Verrado, Robeson, and you see things like prices from the low 400s. That is always from. That is the base price of the home. No lot is included, so you're going to have to pick your lot extra. No upgrades are included. If you want a third car garage, many plans, that is an extra upgrade. If you want to extend your patio, that's an upgrade. So we have to really look hard at what your budget is and what things are super important to you, and then other things maybe not so much. You might still want to build new, or maybe we can find a really nice resale that's just a few years old, ready now, and you can move in and head to the pickleball courts immediately. So let's talk about incentives. Right now in 2023, this is, February, we are seeing some pretty good incentives from builders. Now they're not taking anything off the base sales prices. Those are still going up little by little. What they are doing is giving you lot premium incentives, or they are giving you design center incentives, or they're giving you finance incentives. Now, if it's me, I am not going to take any money for a finance incentive because generally, if you work with an outside lender, like the ones that I partner with, you will end up getting a better deal, and you can use your incentive on design center options or take it off the price of the lot. So that's just my 2 cents worth. I would not use that to buy down my rate, because dollar for dollar, that generally is not the best way to go. That's another thing, though, that we will help you analyze to decide the best use of your incentive funds. The other thing we are seeing now is a lot of builders are kind of taking control of their pricing by building what they call designer homes. You know those as spec homes, where the builder just builds a house and they do a nice job. They're beautifully designed, they've got nice finishes, but they can throw in some upgrades that you and I might not have done, and maybe they'll be ready in 2, 3, 6 months versus waiting 12 to 14 months. We have to analyze all of that, but that is very, very common. A year or two ago, zero inventory. There was a waiting list. Now we can generally roll up to most communities and find a designer home. And most times I can negotiate a really good incentive or discount of some sort on those designer models. The key is we need to make sure they're on a good lot, because that's how they get rid of the crappy lots. They build this beautiful designer home and then give you an incentive, and you go in all starry-eyed. Next thing you know, you're backed up to the 303 and the 10 in Pebble Creek, and you don't know what hit you. Trust me when I tell you, you don't want to end up there. That's why you always, always, always take a member of my team or myself to the new home models. Don't think you're bothering us. Oh, I don't want to bother them. You know, we just want to go check things out before we make the call. Please don't do that, because they are going to not fully disclose everything. I'm not saying they're unethical at all, but they work for the builder. We work for you, so we will tell you which lots to avoid. We will tell you where it might be noisy in the future. We will tell you pick this lot over that lot, which has better resale. All of those things will factor into your choice. So always, always take somebody from my team to your very first visit to the builder site. One of the reasons that a lot of people do want to choose a new home over a resale, and again, we take this on a case-by-case basis, is that the systems are all new. For instance, my house is older, and I bought it because it was a really good deal. Someday I'll do a video on my house and the story behind that. Some of you guys know, but we won't tell here. If you want to know, you'll have to call me and I'll tell you the crazy story. But it's an older 55 plus home in North Scottsdale. Well, I got a good deal, so it's okay, but man, I've been pouring money into this. A week after I closed, the AC went out. That was $9,000. Then a few months ago, $15,000 for a brand new roof because the original roof was 22 years old. Those things wear out. If you're buying a brand new home, then everything is fresh and new and under warranty. So again, if your price range dictates, new could be the way to go. Also, though, we do see a lot of really nice resales where the systems are updated. The good news is in these communities, and you and I both know, older people like to spend money on systems. They'll sit around, at the bar or at the golf club and talk about what their cost per kilowatt hours is for electricity or what their R value is for the insulation. So they're always trying to beat the energy bills. Well, the way to do that is to get new systems, get a new HVAC. So we might find a resale house that has a 1 or 2 year old HVAC unit or a new roof in 2020. I see them all the time and we sell them all the time. So don't be disheartened that if you buy a resale, you're only going to be subjected to old crappy houses. Not the case. It's just not brand new on the day you move in. For some people that's important. Other people like me, I'm looking for the deal, and so I like the old house that's a little beat up. The next thing you're going to have to think about when you buy a brand new home is you're going to have to budget for landscaping. That's not built in to the price of your house. So if you are getting a mortgage, you're going to need probably an extra $15,000 to $20,000 set aside in cash to be able to pay for your landscaping. Every HOA has some requirements of the minimum number of plants you need to put in. The good news is you can buy small ones, they're not expensive. Your landscaper can install it. Never, ever in a million years should you work with the builder's preferred landscaper. They are much more expensive, and there are better, less expensive contractors out there. Call me and I'll tell you who we recommend in the various neighborhoods, and we can get you on a path to great savings there. But you are going to have to landscape that home. In a resale, you just kind of move in. Maybe you've got a dead bush here and there. You replace that over time. In my case, I'm just having my landscape guy remove about one every 2 months just to thin things out because they've gotten overgrown. I'm not adding anything. I'm really just taking away. And so it is nice. I didn't have to lay out a chunk of money for that. I spent all my money on the interior upgrades. So if you're planning to be in the community long term, then building may be a great option for you. Again, price is going to dictate that, and the availability of the right resale for you. You may roll into town and we could find a really cool house that's been all updated. We do see those frequently. It just depends on the neighborhood and your price range. The one thing you guys know I say over and over is it's not about the house, it's about the community and the lifestyle. If you want to be in Pebble Creek for $420, you can't build a new home, but oh my gosh, you can have a cool house about 1,500 square feet, and you're all going to the same pickleball court. You're all going to the same pool. So keep that in mind when you're doing your budgeting. So let's talk about the investment potential. Realistically here, at our age, I'm gonna be 61 next month. Happy birthday to me. We're not as concerned about resale values as we were, back in 1990 when we were buying homes, trying to move up the property ladder, make a little money on this house so we could sell it and buy the next house. Most of us are not at that phase of life now. This is about a lifestyle. We all have other investments, hopefully, and so we're not as concerned with making money. We still don't want to leave our kids with a home that is not going to be able to be resold when we're gone, but we're not as concerned about making money. I do think, though, that if you can buy new, that might be a little better investment, just because in 10 more years, do you want a 25-year-old home or do you want a 10-year-old home to resell? And so that's the big consideration. Good investments can be had either way. If you want to get more in depth about what I think is a good investment in any given price range, reach out to me at the number below on the screen, and I can give you my take that I'll really elaborate on for you, and I'll tell you what I would do in any given scenario. But it's not as much about the resale at our phase of life as it is, again, amenities. It's not even about the house. It's about how many pickleball courts are there? What is the pool schedule? Do they have indoor lap pools? Do they have outdoor? Depends on what your thing is. That's what we should be concerned about, and not as much about the investment potential. You still don't want to do something silly, and we'll keep you out of trouble there. But this is not something you're going to turn in 2 years, for the most part, to make money. Now, I do have some very, very sharp clients who have called me looking for something in a resale that's a little beat up cosmetically, good bones, but they are working to improve it. Then they will sell it. That tends to be my younger clients who are barely 55. They want in the community and they see that investment potential. And trust me, it is there. But if this is your forever home, investment is not as important as you might think. The key thing when you're building, though, is to buy smart and build smart. One of the things that we do is help you review your design selections to keep you out of trouble. I had somebody yesterday, I looked at their pricing sheet. A shower head was $1,450. You can get that same shower head aftermarket at Home Depot and screw it on there yourself, or have a handyman do it if you're not handy. But I wouldn't give them $1,450 for that shower head. That's just one little example. We will advise you on all of those things to keep your budget in check with your goals, and to always be thinking about resale, because we don't know what might happen. You might have a life change, or maybe your kids move to an area and they want you nearby, or all kinds of crazy things will happen that you didn't anticipate, and you might have a better opportunity somewhere else. So I'm always preaching resale, resale, resale within reason. If you love that shower head and you've got the budget, by all means, go for it. I'm not getting that shower head for myself, but I would just go to Home Depot afterwards. So we will help you with all of those little line item details that can easily add an extra $50K to your house. And the builders will say, well, the average person spends 25% on upgrades. What they're trying to do when they say that is plant in your mind an image of, oh, if I don't spend 25%, I must be some kind of loser. Not true, not true at all. Do it the smart way. Work with my team and I on your purchase, and we will advise you every step of the way. So again, back to the investment piece of the puzzle. I just want to wrap up with investment potential is there, whether it's new or a resale. Depends on your use. If you're going to live year round, you might want to build new. If you are somebody looking for a second home and maybe you want to rent during the summer to just offset some of your costs, then a resale is perfect. Buy something in the $400,000 to $500,000 range that's in nice shape. Live there, enjoy the amenities all winter, and then in the summer, we can help hook you up with people who maybe they're there building a house and they have already moved to the community. They need a rental and they'll pay a little bit of a premium and they'll take very, very good care of your property. At this age, people are not having Saturday night, kegger parties in houses in a 55 plus. Not really happening. We all are in bed by 9. So I think it's a pretty safe investment if you want to rent your property in the off season. Myself, I am thinking of buying a rental property in a certain community, and I'm only looking at things built after 2006. So again, I'm looking for newer systems, good bones. I can always put in the kitchen, the flooring, the paint. I got dudes for all of that. And for a rental property that maybe I'll live in someday, I don't know. I think that makes the most sense for me. I really don't want to spend $650,000 on a rental. That just is not in my budget. I'd rather have 2 properties than just one. So for the investment side of things, again, if you're going to be there part of the year, just buy a resale. I think that's a really good way to go, and that's what I would do if I were in your shoes. So if you think you want to try one of these communities, maybe just 2 years or so, you probably want to build new. Developers are already working on the next Robeson communities, the next 55 plus communities all over Arizona, all over the country, actually, because we are such a growing market segment. So maybe you're gonna try something out. If you don't like it, you wanna move to something else, build new, because that will be a little easier to sell and you might get a better return on your investment by doing that, because there are a lot of people that don't want to wait for new. They want something like new. 2 years old is perfect. It's kind of like if you're a used car person versus a new car person. Some people always buy new cars. Other people buy something, a lease return that's 2 or 3 years old and they feel like they get a better value. So we will have a buyer for your home. The key to all of this is to do your analysis, which you're doing by watching this video. Then reach out to me at the number below on the screen or send me an email. Let's jump on a Zoom call or a phone call and talk about the various options and your unique situation. From there, we'll plan your house hunting trip, and my team and I can show you all of the options that might be in play for your unique situation. So be sure to reach out to me as soon as possible so we can get the ball rolling and find you your dream home, whether it's new or a resale.